This video is for fun and for a laugh. Not a serious video, but the list kinda is. Joking, but not joking. 5 things that I have learned to hate as a hunter. 5 things that I'm
bored with, tired of, and pissed at.
Coming in at the bottom of my list at number 5, mud.
Maybe we should chug on over to Mamby-Pamby land, where maybe we can find some self-confidence for you, you jackwagon!
What we have here as mud goes is the world's worst mud. It is slick as snot. You lose all traction in the mud. When the roads are wet, there's a very good chance you're going to go slide right off the road and into a beaver pond. And the worst part of it is when you're hiking up the mountain, ground's all muddy, and that mud just gets stuck on the bottom of your boots. And the farther you hike, the more mud gets stuck on it. And before long, your boots are like 3 times the weight they normally would be. And you're trying to kick that mud off your boot, and you feel like a cat that got something stuck on his feet.
What?!
We got the world's worst mud. It's just awful. Number 4 on my list, buying an over-the-counter tag.
Man, I gotta get me one of those.
Hey, I'm not waiting till the store opens.
Before 2020, tags would sell out in a couple months. You'd go down to your local sportsman's, say, hey, I want to get a tag. Buy your tag. That was the end of it. 2020 and onwards, you mark your calendar. You clear that calendar for that day. You ain't doing nothing that morning. You can either run out to the local sportsman's and wait for the store to open, or you could sit there online and wait in a queue. But your morning is completely dedicated to buying that tag, and you ain't doing nothing else. Tags will sell out that day. So, yeah, it sucks. Hard. Sucks balls. Demand for Western hunting. Insert long-winded rant about too many hunters now. Number 3 on my list is shithead landowners and their damn properties.
How goes it?
What the hell you think you're doing?
Just the fact that these private lands exist within the boundaries of public lands is a political one that I'm not going to get into. As for the behavior of some of these landowners, maybe even as many landowners, there's a lot that can be said, and I could regale you with stories that I've heard from people that I know of all kinds of shenanigans, but I'm going to limit this to the 2 things that I have personally encountered that I have on film. Number 1 is having been shot at while on public land. Yes, I'm on public land turkey hunting, and I had this idea. I was going to skirt around this really green field. There were some toms over here. I was going to skirt around. Privates over here. So I would skirt around over here, maybe 200 yards away from the boundary. I was going to go up, over, and drop in on some toms. So while I'm doing this, I hear snap, snap, bunch of snapping whizzes, and it took me a second, and I realized, hey dumbass, you're being shot at. So I took to the ground, found because I knew which direction it was coming from, but that snap and that whiz is unmistakable. And I ended up booking it out of there. because ain't no turkey worth getting shot over. I wanted to leave the area. I called my wife, told her I was switching areas and why, and so she calls the county sheriff. And while she's on the phone with the county sheriff, the sheriff goes, "Oh, let me guess. I know where he's at." And she goes, "Yeah?" It's like, "Yeah, all right, we'll go over there and have another talk," or some words to that effect. But the point is that area was known to the local sheriffs. So, second shenanigan that I have on film is there's I think it was a video. I put it on, like, I think it was last year, not the hunt before last. There's a private landowner that likes to fudge the property lines. And because there's this water hole that's right on public, but it's a little too, it's close enough to where he's trying to fudge his property line like 40 to 60 yards into public. And this is not the first time he's done this. Some people I know, they've caught him doing this before, but now they're just being brazen again, and they're trying to encompass this water hole that's in public land, and they're trying to mark it as private. And the asinine thing about it is anybody with Onyx knows that is public land. The boundaries are clear on the map. But they got to fudge their property line. I'll stop there. Private landowners. I don't hate all of them, but a good number of them. Number 2 on my list. People leaving their crap everywhere.
Oh my God. He shit everywhere.
My house is full of shit! He shit everywhere!
Both literally and figuratively. This was not a problem before 2020, but ever since 2020, it's actually been a really big problem. I've seen abandoned tents, like those cheap Walmart tents, easy ups, just abandoned on the mountain, left in camp. Used toilet paper streamers floating in the breeze, hanging off of a bush on ridges. I can recall almost sat in someone's crap once while turkey hunting. That they decided to crap underneath the bush and didn't bury it. I've seen people literally crap on the ground in the middle of a camp, and then they just threw a bunch of dirt on top of it. I've seen people do the same, but they piled rocks and branches on top of that. I've seen another one where they did the same thing, but then they piled more pine boughs on top of that. They did everything except the right thing, which was to bury it. And then there's all the trash. Aside from abandoned equipment, there's all the trash.
Do yourself a favor. Don't turn around. I told you not to turn around.
And I think I kind of know who's responsible for it, type of people who are responsible for it, but I think I'll just leave that one alone. Yeah, I am pointing fingers, but I'll leave it alone. And that's all I got to say about that. So now we're down to numero uno. That which I hate more than everything else I've listed. I mean, I really, really hate this. This is my number 1 hatred. Number 1, nostrils are flaring here. I hate them.
Curse it and crush it. We hate it forever.
Can you guess? Oh, wait. Take a guess. Go on. Take a guess. I'll give you a hint. We call them mountain maggots. For obvious reasons. sheep, they eat everything. They drive the elk and the deer out of whatever area they're in. And when those sheep move on, the whole area is full of sheep crap and a strong smell of ammonia. Now, the guys who drive the sheep are not even American. The owners of the sheep flocks are, but what they do is they hire these guys from South America. And they bring them in on work visas. I think they're from Peru. I've seen a lot of tree carving, let's put it that way. And a good number of them are Peru, probably like around the Andes area or somewhere like that. Because of the altitude, they're more used to it. They're very good at what they do. And that's why they bring them in here. I know one of them for a fact. One of them was named Joaquin because he carved his name in the tree in several trees. So I've just calling them all Joaquin. I'm usually friendly with these guys. I don't try to be an ass to them. It's not their fault, but well, actually no, some of it is. I've seen them drive those damn mountain maggots right into elk calving areas. The only positive thing I can say about sheep is that wherever sheep are, you know where the elk are not. I've learned that elk will live next to a sheep herd, but they will not live with a sheep herd. Flock. Sheep. Ugh, I hate them. I've seen those sheep being driven right through camps. I know of people who've had them driven right underneath their tree stands. Oh, the tourists think they're great. They stop and oh, look at the sheep. Oh, bah, bah. And those sheep flocks, they will, not only will they do everything else I said, but they will clog up the roads too. Tourists will stop for them. I don't stop for them anymore. What I've learned to do is just keep on driving. If you slow down and you keep pushing forward, just keep inching forward, they'll move. So I don't really stop for sheep. I just kind of push them out of the way. I would never intentionally harm a sheep, mainly because, well, one, it's theft, and two, something about a $20,000 fine. I do like to make jokes about filling my freezer with mutton from all the hunts that they've ruined. It's like if I can't fill my freezer with elk, then by God, I would sure would love to fill my freezer with mutton. Oh, I hate sheep. A lot of people I know hate sheep. I was kind of hoping that the sheep industry would collapse after 2020, so we wouldn't have to put up with them anymore. But no. I mean, I suppose there is the whole thing about wool and wool socks, but we don't eat them. The actual cattle on the mountain, we eat those, but the sheep, I think all they're good for is wool and screwing up hunts and stinking up the area. Anyway, that's all I got. You have a good one.